Hey guys, and welcome to another episode on Overland Garage. And today, what we are doing, since we have kind of at a standstill on a couple of things, the LS motor is waiting for parts. I have most of them, but not everything to completely assemble it. But what I am going to do is start tearing the nose off of this car because I need to get ready to put that in that. So, I hope you guys enjoy the content, and thanks for watching. This is Overland Garage. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you what we're working with, and it's a little complicated to start, but it's all just nuts and bolts, and we're going to get it done. But I'm going to flip this around and show you what we got going on here. So here's the old Mustang, and my plan is to take this off, probably going to have to take those off, but biggest thing I want to talk about first is you got all this inner wheel wellage, and I got to take this plastic off. I'm gonna have to try to be careful with these because they don't make these anymore, and I have a feeling I'm gonna have to make them because I can't find any. This is called a fender extension, but if not, we'll come up with something. But I think I'm gonna probably try to do this with the wheels on. But we're going to see what happens. I'm going to start by tearing the fenders off. Correct that. I'm going to start by taking the inner fender well off. And then that gives us some more access to all of this good stuff in here. But hopefully by the end of today, you'll see just a bare shell here. And all of this will be off the car. I'm probably going to pull the doors too, because over there, I got some spanking new doors. Now those are not power, these are power, but I'm going to swap over the stuff into those doors. But those are really straight, there's no rust in them or anything. So I want to clean these up, paint them, and fit them to the car. Might have to swap out some locks and handles and such, but this is a nicer door. It's in better shape, no rust. And this one, unfortunately, has got the cancer moving in along the bottom here. It's fixable. This door is pretty straight. If I really got into it, I could probably fix this, but there's some Bondo in it, so we're gonna just go with the easy solution and go with a rust-free, Bondo-free door. But anyways, first step is to get that fender and front bumper off, so that's what we're gonna work on right now. So I've been told from my helpful criticism that I don't give you guys a good enough angle to see what's going on, so hopefully you can see really well now. I got the camera right here. What we're going to try to do is we got a couple of screws, we got some push pins in here, and then we got another screw back in here. So without further ado, I'm going to start taking this stuff off and we'll get these fender wells out. Now I do have a trusty screwdriver and the old Milwaukee. But what I want to tell you is before you do anything, you want to try to get these out with a screwdriver first, because if you strip them out, you'll never get them out. Come on. Sometimes you get behind them. Or, yeah, just do that. What else is holding you? What ails you? Okay. And there should be one more. Next thing about not having a power steering rack hooked up is you can just move the wheel around wherever you want. Oh yeah, right there. Should be able just to fandangle this out of you now. And any of you Ford owners like Mustangs, you wonder why they rot out, the fenders rot out, the towers? This stuff right here. This stuff holds water in it and it creates rust. It's fantastic, really. Alright, pry bar time. You go with a little pry bar, we don't need to get carried away that crazy yet. Oh, forgot a screw. Whoopsies. I try to keep all my hardware together and label it, which is not what I'm doing right now, but I will put all this hardware in a little baggie and label it, so when you assemble this, you know right where it goes. It's a weird concept, I know. Come on. Try to be gentle with this because I'm going to use these fenders because they're in good shape. We don't want to ruin it. Help it. There we go. Looks like I've had some critters into this as well. Get out of there. Well, there's one. Delete. And we're going to take a look at what we got going on in here. This is the fender. Doesn't look too bad. Looks like I got a little bit of patchwork to do in the body down here. But other than that, I mean, most of these, this is the weak spot on Mustangs, is these strut towers. And I got the surface rust going on, but I got no rust whatsoever as far as the rest of this is concerned. So, look, even the original horn is still in there. That's not right. But anyways, washer bottle, and it's not broken. Sweet. Alright, so now the reason we had to take this off is because you need to have access to these bolts in here. These ones right here. That's what holds the front nose on. So these ones can stay. I think those ones have to come off. But these right here are the bolts that come off. They're 10 millimeter, or if this thing is American, it'd be like a 3/8. But anyways, we can take these bolts off, and then we can start tackling this fender. Now all I'm doing right now is I got a couple of baggies, because I told you should do this, and I agree that you should do this, so I'm gonna just label this where these things go. So, wheel liners. That way, when I reassemble this, I'll know exactly what goes where. I'm pretty good at remembering, but Why take a chance if you don't have to? There. So now everything I take apart I can put in those baggies, and then when I move on to something else I'll just make some more baggies, and by the end of this, if you put it all back together the way you took it apart with these baggies, you should end up with no parts left over. So that's a little trick I learned a while ago. Alright, I'm not going to show you this part because personally you can't fit in there with me. So I'm going to take this apart and now what we have is we got these two here, these two brackets that are held to this radiator support. And then we're going to take the other wheel well liner off. Take those 4 more bolts that are up inside that I showed you, like on this side, and this whole nose should come right off. Alright, so I'm going to tear this wheel well liner off. You can see this fender extension over here is missing. So I don't know what I'm going to do as far as finding one of them, but I'm going to tear this fender liner off and then get those bolts out, tear the front bumper off. And that's 2. Now, further inspection of all this says there's a lot of nonsense going on that doesn't need to be here. I'm a little concerned about this fuel line that's just hanging out and brake lines that are cut offy. But what all this stuff is, wow. I don't know what they were thinking in 1985 when they built this car, but we'll just say vacuum hoses for days. So we're gonna take all them things off. We're gonna delete a lot of smog parts in this thing, as I'm not gonna need them, because why put smog parts in a car that's supposed to be a muscle car? Anyways, I digress. But yeah, this little vapor canister, we can delete that. Oops, deleted. Like, really, what's this all about? and then there's a bunch of this junk right here we're gonna take off too, but right now I'm gonna get those bolts out. See how easy that is? Now, one thing that I wasn't careful of is this piece over here, which is right here. So I'm gonna have to very carefully epoxy that back in. This is like that Baker plastic, Bakelite, I think they call it. But yeah, this is a really delicate header panel, but one whole bumper, delete. Oops. What a weird looking car without that bumper on there. It's funny that this is actually the bumper. I think we're gonna take this off and then we'll yank the fenders off. Bumper delete. So now we're just gonna take these fenders off, and it's literally a bunch of, what I found is at 7/16 is the size. Bolt, there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but if I have to guess, there's a couple down there and a couple behind the doors. And then we'll get the fenders off of this. Try to be careful with these. I got a pretty good dent I gotta fix here. But these aren't rusty, and the reason I wanted to get that bumper off of this is because you're working around, you're trying to get the motor in there. You don't want to have that bumper sticking way out here where you have to lean way in. This is nice, you can stand right against it. And also, this, I'll show you this in a minute, but this radiator support is all tweaked. So I'm gonna literally have to cut this off, probably just below this bumper. They sell a replacement, but for like $100, I'll probably build one because, you know, that's just how I roll. But somebody used this as a winch point to pull the car onto a trailer or whatever at some point, and they tweaked it pretty bad. So we're gonna cut that right out of there, just get rid of it, build a new one. But anyways, I'm gonna get those fenders off, and then we'll be talking about a couple of plans with the wiring and stuff we gotta do, but I wanna get this all off so I can clean this all up and paint it. Luckily for me, the guy's already been in there and taken that off. So, if I'm right, this should just come off. Ah! any favors. Oh yeah. Nope. Antenna. Should've known that. Yeah. Fender to delete. So this is the passenger side, and I have no idea what this nonsense is, but this was Ford's attempt at some sort of vacuum actuated solenoid system for something. I'm sure I'm gonna find out, but just wanted to talk about what we got going on here. Deleted the smog stuff already, and this is what we got going on. And then under here is another vacuum operated doohickey that I'm gonna find out what it is at a later time. But it might have something to do with the wipers. Who knows? 1985, they had some weird stuff going on. But what I wanted to say real quick is I got this big ginormous mess of wiring going on, and then I got some vacuum hoses over here, and this, ooh, hello, party mode. We got this battery tray that's all broken, but the K member is gonna stay for now just because money is tight. I did find the fuel lines, they do look okay. One thing I'm gonna have to do with those is figure out which one's the return and which one's the feed. I'm guessing this bigger one is the feed line, but I do not have a return system, so I'm gonna have to plug that off. And then I'd like to just clean all this wiring up, figure out what I actually need to run this car and what I'm gonna need for wipers and all that stuff. What I don't need, get rid of all this nonsense, because the less wiring under this hood, the better. And I want to clean all this up and repaint this with a nice coat of black, or I might even color match it, who knows. But yeah, I wanted to get this thing stripped down so that I could start working on it and do some suspension work, some brake work. Got to do a little bit of body repair over there, and then it's gonna come along pretty easy. Actually, I think this car is really solid, so I'm not gonna have any super big problems with getting it squared away. I didn't show you this before, but we're gonna open the door and take a look. Let me. Well, if you'll let me in. That was way more work than necessary. But as you can see, this door is in pretty rough shape. The door panel is junk! And but I do want to retain the power windows, and I think this is probably the first time we've actually walked through this car together. I got a lot of wiring going on in here, and like what's the point of all that? So we're gonna be running auto meter gauges, and then unfortunately this car is gonna be a automatic, putting a turbo 400 behind it. So luckily I think that's in the right place still. Turbo 400's cable operated, so we should be all right. But I got definitely got some weight reduction going on in here. Just this side though, which is really strange. Like that side of the car, it's got some. I had a mouse hotel back here, but that side of the car has got some dirt and surface rust, but no real holes in the floor. And then if you look underneath the car, actually, like, I don't know if you can see this, but like the car's still got the original paint on it, and it's not all rotted out, which is really kind of strange for a Mustang, because if you know about Mustangs, you know that, yeah, they rust out quick. So the next video, we're gonna try to get this thing torn down even further, but I wanted to give you guys a little kind of a sneak peek at what we got going on in here. And I'm gonna do something about this door because I can't open it. Like, yeah. And I kind of want to give you guys a little sneak peek at what I got going on with this motor. I know I showed you a couple of the old Instagram pics, but I might have gone a little crazy with the Chevy Orange. But I got the head gasket set so I can actually get the heads back on. I'm waiting on some push rods and I'm waiting on some head bolts. But as soon as I get those parts, I'll be throwing these heads on. Got a valley cover that's coming, a nice shiny ICT billet valley cover. Or I might use the stock one and just try to plug the knock sensor holes. But waiting on an oil pan, waiting on a valley cover, waiting on a water pump. And but I wanted to give you guys kind of a little sneak at what the LS motor looks like, and I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. I think it's going to look good in the car. So I hope you guys enjoyed this content. I have some questions. If any of you guys have done a Foxbody LS swap, throw some comments down below. Give me some pointers, because this is the first time doing a Foxbody swap with an LS motor. I think it's simple. I know there are some things that are kind of complicated, so give me some tips and pointers on what to do with that. But I welcome all the corrective criticism. If you saw something in this video that you want to see more of or you didn't see enough of, throw a comment down there and let me know what's going on. Like I was saying, if you guys see something else that you want to see that you haven't seen yet, and you got some ideas about what to do with this Foxbody, I've thrown some ideas with colors back and forth. Jessica's giving me some ideas. She gave me the pointer to get me some more in-depth pictures, because a lot of my videos are pretty broad and not real in-depth, and I want to get more in-depth and be more transparent with you guys. So keep giving me some comments and things you want to see. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Please keep giving us a thumbs up and liking and subscribing to our videos, and share it. I haven't said that before, but why not? Hit the little bell while you're at it, and keep watching, because we're going to keep growing, and we're going to keep doing stuff that, well, we're going to keep doing stuff that we're not normally doing, but it's getting cold outside. I want to do a couple of winter trips with the Duramax. I got the new tent on the truck. I'm going to show you guys that soon, so you're going to want to stick around and see that video. But keep supporting the channel, and I hope you enjoyed this content. This is Overland Garage.